if you want to scale to 1 million a month with Facebook ads, at some point you're going to run into an issue, which is creative production. You need to scale up your creative production to feed the machine. If you want to scale there, but currently you see that you're not as efficient when it comes to the creatives, so you're testing a bunch of creatives and most of them actually fail, so this is costing you a lot of money, then this video is for you, because then you need modular ad creatives. This is what you need. In case you don't know what this is, stick with me. I'll show you exactly why this is the only efficient way when it comes to creatives to get to 1 million a month and above, and also how you actually implement it. So by the end of the video, you will have this thing solved. You will know exactly how you have to structure your content production, your creative production, so that you can pump out creatives efficiently while scaling your ad budgets. This is exactly what helped me, or helps me, scale my own brands to over 900K per month now, and over 25 brands that I'm mentoring, coaching to get to 1 million a month and to multiple 7 figures per year. Let's jump right in. What's the problem? The problem is one of the followings. Your creative production costs eat up your profits, meaning you know you have to scale, or you found something that is working, number one, and now you just want to scale budgets. So what happens if you scale budgets? Obviously, you will burn through creatives quicker, right? That's just what it is. So you found something that is working, and now you want to basically scale your ad budgets, okay? Best case, something like that. So this is your budget. But now, what most of the brands are doing and are doing wrong, and this is potentially in your situation, or if you don't know that, you will get into this situation very quickly, is that you actually need to scale up your creative production as well, because you need more creatives, right? Creatives just die out quicker. You get in front of colder audiences. Yes, it depends a little bit on the creative, but in general, you can say creatives just die out quicker because you spend way more money in a shorter period of time, okay? So then what happens is that they basically scale their creative production in the same rate. And the problem is that this here, so this is creative, let's say creative costs actually. This means that the more you need to test, the more you need to spend on creatives. So you basically increase the ad spend in the same rate that you increase your ad creative costs, which is, it is a way to get more creatives, but at the same time, you're actually like not getting more profitable. You always have to like invest basically the same rate into creating more content, creating more creatives. And this means you're actually not really, you don't have any like real leverage when it comes to profit, right? When you're scaling. So this is one big issue that I see. And how does this, like, why does it get to it? Very easy. People treat creatives as it's just one shot, right? So this means, okay, for example, I identified UGC creatives are the thing, right? They are working like crazy. This is what works for my brand. Great. Now what do brands do? They go out and basically get creatives on whatever platform, and they just get back one creative from one creator, okay? So one creative equals one test, okay? So this means you're spending, I don't know, let's say on average, $200, could be less, could be more. Just, let's say on one of these platforms, you're paying a UGC creator $200 for some kind of concept, okay? Maybe it's even a concept that you know is working, great. But this means if this is one test and you want to test, let's say 20, 30, 40 creatives a week, which you will have to do when you want to scale, to a certain level, this means you have to multiply this by 30. Okay, so let's say I have 30 creatives per week that I want to test. That's a lot of money, right? So this is $6,000 every single week, right? So this means if you want to test 60 creatives, you will have to spend $12,000 a week. And then, this is something that I talk about in other videos, but then the other part is you have to make sure that these videos are actually performing, right? And you have a good creative hit rate. That's the second problem, right? That only 1 out of 30 creatives really works. Only 1 out of 50 creatives really works. So what a lot of brands are doing, or better said, agencies are doing, is just throwing a bunch of ads at the wall and then seeing what sticks, right? But this is costing you a lot of money. So if you just treat one creative as one test, this is what you have to do. And then that is the problem, right? Because you're just spending the same amount on creatives the more you scale, right? The more you scale, the more you have to spend on creatives. Now, this eats up a lot of profits, right? This eats up a lot of profits, and it doesn't really play to how the algorithm is working, right? Because you want to give a creative not just only one shot. You want to give it multiple shots. And you want to use the creative content not only once and then it's lost. So that's basically what happens. Okay, if this test fails, this means these $200 are just gone forever. On to the next one. Okay? This is very, very expensive. Now, what's the solution? What's the solution that I implement? What's the solution that I implement in my own brand? I had to put this here because it didn't really fit on my t-shirt. So trying out this new beanie style. Anyways, back to the video solution. What's the solution? Right? So in my brands and in all of the other brands that I'm mentoring, coaching, consulting, whatever you want to call it, that I help to get to 8 figures, I actually teach them the following. And this is exactly what I teach you now. I don't treat a creative as a single entity that I'm going to test once, pray that it works, and then forget about it and basically throw it into the rubbish if it's not a winner. But how I look at it is you can dissect a creative in different parts, number one, right? So you can say, okay, so within a creative, what am I actually doing? Okay, I have a hook, right, that hooks people in. I have some kind of problem, presentation so that people can, connect with me. I create rapport. And then I present a solution to that problem, which is my product. Then I have some social proof, and then I have a call to action, right? So this is the first way to think about a creative in a modular way, right? Just from the creative standpoint. Now, when we go even a step deeper and we talk about content, okay? So to tell this story, because a creative is nothing else than a story, right? So I treat a creative as a story or a storyline. A creative is nothing else than a storyline, right? So whatever concept you have is just I'm telling some kind of story, I'm following some kind of storyline, and I need content to tell that story. Now, does this content have to come out of one hand? Does this content have to be done by only one single creator? Do I, like in every story, do I have to have unique content that is only in this story? Ask yourself these questions. I asked myself these questions when we were here in Barcelona with my team, I think 2 or 3 years ago now, 2 years ago. And we came up with this crazy idea on a steak dinner with Alan, which you might know on the channel. You've seen him, I think, 1 time, maybe 2 times. He is like, the idea was basically to say, let's do 100 creatives in a single day. Can we do that without shooting new content, just with the content that we have? Is this possible? Because we had a bottleneck for one client. We wanted to do more ad creatives, but then it was always about, we have to get new content and we have to wait for UGC creators 2-3 weeks, and then they mess something up in the ad creative. So It takes even longer. So that was just a pain, right? So then that's why we said, okay, can we just do it quicker and more efficiently with the content that we have? And that's where we started to dissect creatives and basically understand, okay, look, I can tell this story with these kinds of content buckets, and this is how I call them, okay? So this is the trick. You want to have content buckets, right? Because you have, at the end of the day, you have different types of content shots. You have pattern interrupts, right? Where you hook people in. Those are just like interesting shots, eye candy shots, how I call them, where something is like a reverse sequence, or you have like a split screen, or you have someone like catching the product or doing something crazy with the product. Then you have problem agitation. So those are all the shots. For example, if you have like a product against acne, in this case, you will have shots of people that have acne, right? And look into the mirror and I don't know, like touch their skin and are not happy visibly. So this is problem. Those are problem shots. Then you have the product presentation, unboxing, right? Where somebody just unboxes the product, presents the product. Then you have usage of the product, where somebody applies the acne cream in that example to their face. And then you also have shots that show the desired end result, right? Where somebody has fixed the acne, has beautiful glowing skin, and is happy, and looking into the mirror, touching his skin, is happy, whatever. So those are always the same kinds of shots. And now, but the cool thing is now, if you treat it in a modular way, you can tell whatever story you want to tell if you have the root content. So this is why I tell all my clients to build content buckets, right? For exactly these here, you can apply it a little bit to your case. I wouldn't do more than like 7 content buckets, right? Because then it defeats the purpose of all of this. We don't want to overcomplicate stuff, but those are 5 that are working really, really well. Grab those, take a screenshot, implement them, do the folders. It's nothing else than content folders. And in these content folders, you actually have snippets of the content of that sort, right? So let's say we have the content folder of, let's say usage of product, okay? Usage of product. There you go. Usage of product. And then you have like literally clips of, 3 seconds, then another clip of 10 seconds, then another clip of 5 seconds, okay? That are all they can all be from different creators, from completely different people, but at the same time, they're the same kind of content. So then the cool thing is, when you put together a story and when you're doing creative strategy, you're actually saying, okay, I want this creative concept. Okay, this is my concept. And then you're basically building a plan for how is this concept constructed. So I gave you an example here, right? This is the concept. And then the video editor can go to your library, to your organized library, to your content buckets library, and just go ahead and say, okay, for hook, what do I have here? What do I find here with the pattern interrupts? Okay, let's choose one of this. Let's choose, hook 2. Then for problem, problem, here I look into the problem bucket and see what kind of, shots are actually working for this concept. Then I do the same for solution. Then I do the same for social proof. Then I do the same for the call to action. So this way, you don't have to wait to get new content, to shoot new content, but you can just take the content that you have and build out the story. And then in the next step, if you see that this creative concept is working, right? That's what we're actually testing. We're testing the creative concept. If you see that this is working and you see, oh, wow, this shows potential, then you can still shoot this with, 5 different creators, okay? Because then at that point, it makes sense because I've pre-validated this creative concept and I know it's working in some way. So then I just want to say, okay, let's let people shoot it entirely from start to finish. This is what people do here. But what they're misconceiving is the misconception is that they try to test creative concepts when in reality they're testing, creative concepts and unique content, which is just a waste of resources, right? So you will be way more efficient. And actually, we ended up doing 100 creatives a day in one day. I think I also have the video here. I'll link it, where we explain this more in depth. But that's the idea. Don't do this mistake. I see so many brands are not the ones that are, the ones that have the, that are the ones that screw this up, but it's actually agencies. So if you work with an agency, UGC agency, whatever, that is doing this, they're just wasting your resources because you're ultimately paying for the creators. They're just wasting resources and they're wasting time. Most importantly, it's not only money, it's time, right? Because you have to wait for all of these creators. I get the story so many times. Yeah, we hired this UGC creative agency, and then, we sent them like some info, and they were asking some questions. They were doing research, and now they have to get the content. And I'm asking, okay, how long did it take until they got the first creatives live? Like in the second month, mid-month, they started to. What? 6 weeks to get creatives live? That is insane. This is insane. Within those 6 weeks, you could have validated 3 to 5 creative concepts with the content that you have. No new content needed. Just like on the same day, you do the scripts, you do the research, you do the scripts, and you cut creatives, you cut concepts from the content that you have, right? And then you use this time to validate the concepts. Maybe after 2-3 weeks, you find concepts that are working, and you can already grow the account, and then you can still go out and get new content. So this is what people miss, and that's why a lot of brands just like struggle and stay within a certain amount all the time. They're not really moving because they fall into this trap that agencies most of the times are selling them. Oh yeah, no, we need to go out and get new content. Every concept needs to be unique, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you're wasting a lot of time, and you have to think of opportunity costs. I always say that. Like 1 month that you're missing to scale to whatever goal you had is costing you effectively, it's costing you, the delta. So if your goal was to get to 100K and you're constantly making 50K, 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 this means every month the opportunity cost is 50K. So I hope that was helpful. This is really one key part when it comes to creative execution, right? This is creative execution. This is about, I've researched my stuff and now I just want to test creatives. Do it this way. Trust me, do it this way. Because I've seen too many brands struggle with this, and it's just frustrating. I've done it myself in the beginning. I didn't understand, right? I did that, right? I was thinking, I need a new creative. I need 3 new creative tests. We need to go out and get 3 new content creators. This is not how it works. The big players, they're doing it this way. And then you can come up with 100 creatives in a week if you want, if need be, right? So I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you want to know more insights. Actually, if you want to, implement this, you can do it with, this content. But if you want to do it faster, do it with more certainty, this is what I do. This is exactly what I do. This is how I help brands to implement this stuff in-house. I help them to, find an editor, build the team. And you might think, this is a big thing. Honestly, it's not a big thing. I've done it like multiple times now, and every single time that I do it and show it to brand owners, they're like, "Wow, I couldn't believe it." I was thinking like I need an agency to implement all of this stuff because it was always like a black box. They didn't really understand. But then if you strip away all the inefficient stuff, how agencies also make money mostly, and you just go straight to the result, you will see that you can scale way more profitably, and you actually own everything. You understand the whole process, and you have people in your team that are dedicated to you only, not to like 10 other brands. So yeah, this is what I do. This is how I help brands to scale to multiple 7 figures, 8 figures, and yeah, a couple of crazy case studies like, getting brands from 40K to $1 million a month, 100K to $1 million a month, 15, 20K to 300K a month. So if you find this interesting, click the link below in the description and hop on a call with me, and then I can show you if that makes sense and if I can help you. All right. All the other stuff, check out my other videos. If you want to go more in depth to it, I'll link the 107 creatives in one day, and see you in the next one. Take care.